Hello and welcome to Mary Makes. I'm Mary and today I'm going to be trying out glow in the dark yarn. Wow. A couple months ago I bought a bunch of glow in the dark yarn off of Temu, and it arrived and I wasn't exactly ready or how do I say, excited to work with the yarn right away. And then I also had it in my mind that, oh, I'm gonna wait to use all of this glow in the dark yarn to make like some glow in the dark dinosaurs for Halloween or whatever. So I want to show you the colors I got. I bought it in blue, like this lime neon green, purple, this coral color, pink, white, gray, and finally yellow. And at first look, like it's not like a soft plush yarn. Like, you know, when you go to the craft store and you're just walking down the yarn aisle and you're like, ooh, like it doesn't give me that ooh factor. Additionally, it just like feels really stiff. I have heard from other crocheters that have used this glow in the dark yarn before that it like leaves you with like a yarn burn or a chemical burn, so I'm a little worried about that. That also made me cautious about this, but like I kind of don't think that's going to be the case. But anyways, I'm about to try it out and I'll let you know how it goes. So I wanted to show you how this yarn looks up close. So I came over to my overhead camera here, and I'm underwhelmed. This yarn is made up of a bunch of strands, smaller strands woven together, if you can see that there in the camera, which makes it like anything that's like this, this just means that it's going to be really easy to accidentally get your hook into the yarn, like accidentally splitting the yarn just like that, or even just like one strand coming out. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go. It doesn't like feel like it's gonna hurt my hands or anything, so like just like running it over my fingers, it does feel stiff though. It does feel stiff. I feel like I have the sensation of what's it like when you've been working with cardboard or paper for a really long time and your hands feel papery. The yarn label also doesn't give you a whole ton of information. Like it doesn't even have a recommended crochet or knitting needle size. It just has some recommendations in terms of washing and cleaning, even though it says glow yarn knitting. Anyways, let's try it out. So I cut that out because making the magic ring and getting it started was really tough for me using this yarn, just because it's like so stiff. But now that I've got my Mini-Dino going, it's a lot more smooth, and I gotta say I do like how this is looking. Like I like how the stitches, I don't know, they're stiff stitches, and I mean, I almost feel like this yarn would make for better like baskets and like durable home goods than like a stuffed animal. So maybe depending on what you want to use glow in the dark yarn for, maybe just keep in mind how stiff this will turn out. I'm also pretty sure that this is cotton. I went back to look at the listing here, and there wasn't really anything to indicate that it was cotton. Like it just didn't say. Let me check the label again. Yeah, it doesn't say what exactly the fiber is, but I would bet that it's cotton. And I think one reason why I'm probably kind of what's the word? I'm trepidating with this review is because I feel like the shopping experience I had on Temu was like really predatory. As in, I downloaded the app and then I spent like, I don't know, $150 in like the next day over 3 orders. So like once I realized how much it influenced my spending and how compulsive I was being, like with the little games on Temu and the little offers and all of the email and notification reminders, I had to go and just like unsubscribe from all emails, turn off all notifications, and quit Temu. It it was dangerous, man. Um, but I mean, I also kind of thought like Temu, Shine, AliExpress, I kind of thought these sites were like exploitative, but when I was looking at how much I paid for this yarn, it actually seemed like a fair market price to me at least. So I bought this back in June and the price I paid then was $12.99 for 4 of each color, and each ball is 50 grams. So what, 50, 100, 150, 200? I spent $12 per 200 grams of each color. And that's like a pretty reasonable price for yarn, maybe a little on the high side, because when I think about like this ball of yarn from Hobby Lobby, you know, this is around $4.99. I think this is actually $5.99 now for how many grams of yarn is this? I've just passed it, didn't I? Oh yeah, here, for about 200 grams of yarn. You know, it's double the price of regular acrylic worsted weight yarn, which is like fine, because acrylic worsted weight is like the cheapest yarn, but it's also what I find to be like softer and easier to make amigurumi, you know. And now I just checked Temu, and the price for 200 grams of this yarn is now like $14. So I don't know, it's kind of expensive for how much yarn you're getting. Additionally, I guess glow-in-the-dark yarn isn't really available at like your big box craft stores like Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, you know. So there's like a rarity and a novelty to it. So there is that, but I guess I don't have a market price other than what I regularly buy to compare the price of glow-in-the-dark yarn to. After I finish making this dinosaur, I am going to test out the glowiness of it. Wow, see, just like that, you guys just saw that, right? I'm smoothing out this yarn, but I just like pulled on a strand of it. Gosh, maybe I gotta focus more when I make these, but yeah, I found that forming the magic circle and forming round 1 was very difficult using this yarn. So I'm kind of free forming and just going off of how I'm experiencing this review. At the end of the video, I will make a summary of how I would rank this yarn in terms of like cost, ease of working with, and I guess aesthetic, and just, I don't know, whatever other category I think of. But I feel kind of underwhelmed is my general feeling with this so far. So I'll be back after I finish this mini dino. Wow, so I just sewed on these 2 arms on my mini dino, and I was going to wait to come back to talk to you about how it was, but the sewing was like rough. Wow, I had such a difficult time that I'm going to show how it is going for me as I sew on this tail. I just feel like maybe my yarn needle's too big. It's not a problem for acrylic yarn, but I think I'm having adjusting to cotton issues, but also I think compared to like some of the cotton yarn that I have, this is a very rough cotton. So like pulling my yarn tight and trying to get it to be neatly sewn just like feels like so much more work. I think maybe if you're using this yarn for like a no-sew pattern that you might have a better experience. Also, I think I crochet pretty tight, like I have pretty tight tension when I'm making my stitches. If you have a really tight tension when you crochet, I would just say don't buy this yarn. But if you have like a loose tension or you're able to adapt your tension, I would say you could give this a shot at your own risk. I just feel so frustrated using this yarn and like, I don't know. I'm not gonna promote it, but I also don't want to give it like an unfair bad review just because I'm used to using acrylic and I don't use cotton regularly. I will say, like, as the word I was trying to look for earlier was stitch definition. I think this piece has really nice stitch definition. You can definitely see all the neat pretty stitches. You can just like, I don't know, the color change was neat. It was smooth to use. It's just stiff. So when I was tying off my knots for those color changes, like those knots are never coming out because I had to like get some elbow grease in there to tie the yarn off. I just know my hands are gonna be so tired after this. And I haven't had a chance to test the glow in the dark yet. So like I did when I first got the yarn back in June, and it was like fine, but now that the yarn's just been sitting in my house for the past couple months, I feel like I need to get like either a really strong flashlight or make some effort to get this to sit in the sun for a couple hours before I see it in the dark. So I'll record how that looks as well. But yeah, ooh, I just feel like sewing is very stiff on this, and I'm trying to, normally I can get my pinky in at this stage to get the stuffing in, but the yarn is so stiff, I should have maybe stopped a stitch earlier to stuff this tail. Ooh. Oof, big oof. Okay, well, I will just finish this off here and then I will see how many more mini dinos I can make before tonight, and we'll see how they look in the dark. Okay, so I just finished making 3 mini dinos using this glow in the dark yarn, and my hands hurt. Like my fingers are really sore. I think this is all I got in me. I don't want to work with this yarn anymore. But now it's time to test the glow in the dark and see if I can catch it on camera. So here's this purple and yellow one I finished. Then next I made this like lime green and blue one, and then I just finished this like coral with purple stripes one. So let's go to the overhead camera and look at it. All right, so I should also note I made these all today. I made the purple and yellow one first, then I made this one, and then I made this one. Like I just finished this now. These two have been sitting under my lamp, absorbing light for a couple hours. This one probably hasn't gotten the chance to absorb that much light. So yeah, I'm about to turn off my light now. Ooh, I can tell this one is like really glowing. Wow, this one maybe is subtly glowing or not at all. It's not picking up on camera, but like this one, this purple one is actually glowing, and the one I just finished is not glowing. Wow. While we're in the dark, I think I can show you the yarns. Okay, this really bright one is that like lime green color. That's like the most obvious. The other ones, oh wow. Actually, as my eyes are adjusting to the dark more, actually these yarns glow quite well. Just obviously the camera's not picking it up that well. Wow. Okay. Okay, I think I was a little harsh on this. Wow. Well, I guess I'm gonna go wrap up my thoughts and give this yarn my own rating, huh? All right. So, I think my final rating for this glow-in-the-dark yarn that I purchased from Temu is 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I'll tell you why I rated it this way. So 3, I'm not like smack dab in the middle. I'm like a little above the middle, but I'm not quite to a 4-star. The main reason for not being at a 4-star is because it was really difficult for me to work with, and because I just don't see myself purchasing this again. But in terms of cost, the cost actually isn't that bad. I was not comparing apples to apples earlier when I looked at how much a ball of acrylic yarn costs. I don't use cotton that much, so I had to look this up. A ball of like Lion brand 24/7 cotton, you get about 100 grams for $6.50. So it makes sense for you to get 200 grams for about $12. And then since it is like special, $14 for 200 grams of glow-in-the-dark yarn isn't out of the question, I think. So I actually think the cost is pretty fair, and shopping on Temu, you're probably going to get some sort of offer or discount on it anyways. So I like between $12 to $13, I think, is the sweet spot price for this yarn, because I think that's what the price of cotton is. As for the ease of use, like I said, it was very difficult for me to work with. My fingers like hurt so much, and I feel like I had to put a lot of muscle into it. But the glowing factor actually really impressed me, and I think it's because it took me a second to let my eyes adjust to the dark to really see the glow happening. I know it didn't show up that well on camera, but it was there, and so I actually think it's pretty good. Oh, and back to ease of use, I think any rumors that I heard about glow-in-the-dark yarn feeling chemically and leaving your hands with yarn burn is unfounded, because that didn't happen to me. My hands are tired, but like my skin is fine. I didn't have any like skin reaction to this yarn. So yeah, that's my review for glow-in-the-dark yarn from Temu, and I'll put a link to the exact listing of the yarn I bought, but it is not an affiliate link because I don't want to become a Temu affiliate. But that is below in the description. Thank you so much for joining me along this as I tried out glow in the yarn from Temu. I hope you have a wonderful day, and tune in next week for my next video. Bye!